Hey, thanks for dropping in. On today's episode, we're taking a bit of a detour from our usual format of quick and easy midweek dishes. This one will be more of a weekender. But don't worry, it'll still be easy. And most importantly, it'll be really delicious. So stick around. Alright, so it all starts with this pork belly. This one's just over 900 grams, or about 2 pounds. It's also skin on, although you can use skinless if you prefer. Skin on just happened to be what my supermarket had in stock. We're going to cut our pork belly into somewhat large cubes, something a bit bigger than bite-sized, so maybe 2 bite-sized? You could go smaller, but I think this dish presents better with more substantial cubes of meat. Once our pork's cut, we're going to drop it into boiling salted water. This will do 2 things. First, it'll start the pork cooking, and second, it'll draw the impurities out of the meat, which will prevent the scum that often comes out when you cook pork from ending up in our final dish. Once this comes back to a simmer, we'll start the countdown. Alright, it's been a few minutes, our pork can come out. It's not yet fully cooked, and it's miles away from being tender, but it is ready for step 2. With the exception that we have to let it dry first. We're going to be dropping these into hot oil, so we want as little surface moisture on them as possible. Our pork should be dry enough. We've got a bit of hot veg oil in our wok, and we're going to carefully lay the pork cubes in. Even though they're dry, they're still going to spit a little, so we have to be careful. You can see that my cubes aren't perfectly equal, and that's not a problem. These are going to cook for a good long while, so the unevenness won't be an issue. We're going to let these fry until golden, rotating them every minute or so. It shouldn't take more than 5 or 6 minutes. Now the pork comes out one more time. Time to make sauce. I drained some of the oil out of our wok. There was a little too much in there. And we'll start by sauteing some chopped garlic, shallot, and ginger. The aromatics are smelling wonderful, so we can add some water. And some white miso, also called shiro miso. For a more intense miso flavor, you could swap in red miso, which is fermented longer. Now some brown sugar, which will add sweetness, of course, as well as color. Then soy sauce. And finally, a splash of dark soy sauce. This will deepen the color even more. We'll stir everything together and let it come to a simmer. And now we can return to meat. We'll cover this with a lid and turn the heat way down. This will cook low and slow for about 2 hours, or until the pork is beautiful and tender. Here we are at the halfway point, about an hour in. As you can see, our braise is getting nice and dark. It's also thickened a bit. And the pork's fully cooked. In fact, we could probably eat this now, but the meat would be chewy. So we'll keep this going another 45 minutes to an hour. This looks ready. Let's check the pork. That's not bad. Ideally, I'd love to take this further and make that belly just mouth-meltingly tender, but it's getting late, and my family's clamoring for dinner. If I don't get it on the table soon, there might be a riot, so we'll stop here and remove this meat to our serving plate. Then reduce that sauce just a touch more. I'll see you again once everything's ready. And here it is, our miso-braised pork belly. It looks great, it smells great, so I'd say that was 2 hours well spent. There's not much needed to complete this dish, other than maybe some freshly steamed rice, and maybe a nice tangy cucumber salad. But we can pretty it up just a little, with a sprinkle of fresh chives from my wife's garden. And there, let's do the flyby. Thanks for watching. Before you leave, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed this video. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'll see you next time.